Well, we're here with Steph and Milo at Dopplegang. Now the cameras weren't rolling, but can you say that again? Dopplegang Studios.
Dopplegang Studios. So what it is it's your comes from the derivative of the word doppelganger, which is a German word for your counterpart look-alike.
Yeah.
And we strive to make your media counterpart
That's
look-alike.
smart. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about the name because I have it on my whiteboard, and I've been talking to you on email, and I was trying to figure out, I knew obviously it was a play off of Doppelganger, but I was trying to figure out what it meant.
Yeah.
But that's clever. I like it.
That's the whole point.
So Stefan, we're here in Burlington, and this is a home studio, which is very cool, and we always try to get to as many home studios as possible. That's what I have, and it's what I hope to always have, really. Yeah. Mostly because I just like the ability to work when I'm creative, whenever I feel like it, and then hop back into bed or whatever, Yeah. I could never imagine having to commute somewhere.
Well, that's the point. You have everything at your fingertips at all times.
Totally.
And if you feel that creative spark, you come down here, people coming over early on a Saturday morning, you just get out of bed.
Start the coffee. Yeah, I know. I love it. It's not great for the people you live with, but I love it. I love it. There's so many cool, little knickknacks. Now, I should tell the peeps at home, and Jay doesn't even know this, but our connection here is this D864 from Dizengoff, which I believe I think they maybe went out of business, RIP.
Did they? Okay.
Because their website is down.
Okay.
And I've been trying to research it. They're such a small company that nobody knows. So forgive me if they're not out of business, but I think there may be... Anyway, so that makes this thing very rare. I want it back.
It's limited.
No. So Stefan and I met online when I was selling this piece, and he bought it, and then...
Which it's a great piece.
It is a great piece.
I understand if you want it back.
Well, you know what? I actually really do. I primarily miss the way it looks the most because...
Well, it's got that military
it's so cool. Yeah. And our friend Mike Keir, who we've done a couple tours with, he's got the actual 864, the federal
one knob.
Yeah. So this is your desk here. Are you running off of the MacBook Pro?
Yeah. So I go everything into the MacBook Pro.
Okay. That must be pretty powerful.
Yeah. It's i7.
How much RAM? 16.
3.1 i7, 16 gigs.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It does it. I've never had any problem with it.
So can you just take this and edit elsewhere, in the living room or something?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, mainly down here because obviously the monitors.
Yeah, that's true. But I've seen a lot of people. We have seen a lot of people running off of a MacBook. Oh, you've got the what do they call this?
Oh, the touch bar. Yeah,
the touch bar. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, those are crazy. I have a MacBook Pro as well, one of the newer ones, not with the touch bar though, but the Retina, and it's pretty good. I don't run the studio off it, but I just have it for work and stuff. But it was crazy how much of this crap I had to buy.
Well, I was actually asking a bunch of pals, I'm like, how do you
look
make
what you got here?
Everything's dongle city over here. And
where's your power? Is this your power?
So here? I go power in, and
HDMI.
Then this gives me HDMI out, yes, USB, and then I have a hub back there as well.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Is that your hard drives?
I have hard drives plugged in there, plus peripherals.
Right. It's crazy. You know what? It actually really frustrates me because I have at any one time I have 3 or 4 hard drives, and then you have everything from your MIDI stuff and every time I'm shopping for something, it's this is USB or this is Thunderbolt or something. I don't have another port for this crap.
It seems that's where it's going.
Actually, you got to just check online, but I have my Moog synth. It has a USB connection, and it was giving this weird electronic helicopter sound through the signal.
Like a cycling issue almost.
Yeah, and so I was trying to figure out everything that was happening, and I unplugged the USB, and that stopped.
Yeah.
So
I've had that with MIDI before, and then same thing, you unplug it and then reconnect it.
I'm going to have to do some searching for hours on that.
But yeah, I mean, USB is everything. I even have USB coming off amps, USB on... Oh, yeah, this is a modeling amp, which is kind of neat.
Oh,
and then
okay,
USB on the keyboards and such.
Yeah, I know. It's so much. What's this thing here?
Very old Mackie Huey board.
Okay.
It's just an interface to kind of work with
nice.
Logic
Okay.
Pro Tools. It's actually going to a guy in Cambridge pretty soon to kind of fix, because I was trying to self-fix this one jack right here, but everything else works fine. I've had it for some time now.
So what do you use it for? Just for faders?
Faders. This, believe it or not, is way better than kind of.
You can control Pro Tools with it. Oh, sorry, I just hit record. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So you can use this for Pro Tools. Oh man.
Yeah.
So just one button and Pro Tools is going.
Yeah.
That is really handy.
Yeah.
That's great.
The great thing about this, and when I get this fixed, I have the Mackie Big Knob here, which is the monitor select, the source.
Right.
But the cool thing is you can actually have your monitor control in this DAW interface.
Oh, okay.
And there's not too many of them new nowadays that are like that. So I find it kind of unique in that aspect.
Your monitors here, Adam, A7X?
Yep.
Okay,
Beautiful.
how do you like those?
Super flat.
I think my buddy has a pair.
Ribbon tweeters are fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
And just less fatigue after a couple hours.
Right. Right. And what are these?
Okay.
Is this a PA?
Yeah. So these are EV speakers. It's a PA system. When I have a band in here and I'm doing playback, I don't want to use my monitors to playback or playback as loud as the band's playing, for example.
Oh, okay.
So I like to run through a PA
fun.
to kind of save the my monitors.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
That coupled with a sub, you can fill up the room, especially if you have a vocalist that doesn't want to do in-ear or whatever. So
yeah, and if you're going to have any feedback, you don't want to hurt your good monitors.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also kind of cool to have the band hear it through a PA, which is probably something that they're a little more used to than monitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's funny, people who have a home studio or any studio, they know, I'm looking at your desk and I'm looking at all this dongle crap and all that stuff. How much money you have to sink into cables and dongles before you can even start recording.
I know. Well,
isn't that crazy?
It's funny. this little thing here is $70.
Yeah,
$70 just to hook up USB.
I've got one that's it might be the exact same. I'm not sure. I don't think I have HDMI, but I know it might be the exact same. The other thing too is we take that on the road when we're doing tours. We dump all our data. It gets really hot too when you're doing data transfer and stuff.
Well, it's third party, right? So
yeah, that's true. It is. A lot of people are pissed off at Apple about that, but at the same time,
I think they're trying to look to the future with data speed transfers, being able to charge at any port, and making things more universal in that sense. I know it doesn't seem universal at this.
Well, and it's not great for studios in this scenario, but when you're out traveling and you have a lighter laptop and it's thinner laptop because of it, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I want to, first of all, before we go to this rack here, which will take up most of our time, these DBXs, you got a good deal on them, you told me.
Yeah. They actually came from a church.
Look very unused.
These are fantastic, just bass monsters. They typically get used on kick and snare, but you can put them and I find they're kind of like a set and forget type of compressor.
Yeah.
It's not really finicky. Once you get that sound you're going for, if the transient's a little bit too harsh, you just kind of dial it back a little bit, but you set the level, kind of forget about it almost. Yeah.
Well, we've been to big studios and small studios, and everyone has one. Yeah. It's just for being a $200 or $300 thing, everyone has one.
And then you get the 166. That's the dual channel.
Okay.
I have that on the two toms currently.
Oh, cool.
Because it's got the gate and the limiter.
Oh, nice.
As well.
Oh, that probably sounds great. Yeah. So what have you been using the D864 for? Just bass?
A lot of bass, yeah. I really like the growl function here, which does a parallel germanium type circuitry to it. Yeah. And it just kind of adds a little color. It's hard to.
Yeah, no, I use that all the time.
Yeah. And then this knob kind of gives that. I think it's like a 2K boost.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
It's nice because if you have your singer and you have your bass kind of like scoops up in like around the singer,
Yeah.
and then it kind of pops up again around the 2K.
Right.
Which is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the rack, Stefan, can you tell me a little bit about this?
Sure. Do you want me to pull it out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because it caught my eye. It said Power Pro, and I mean, I know that like home studios, this is the biggest issue. Even studios who are not home studios but are in a
when I was in
building.
Etobicoke, are we filming?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was in Etobicoke, I was having a really hard time with noise.
Okay.
And I was going to every shop asking everybody that, I was knowledgeable and figure out what's going on. I'm just getting this cycle hum and I didn't know where it was coming from. So the guy at LA Music told me, you need something to kind of filter out your AC because that's where you're getting the noise.
Right.
So I picked this up. This actually rebuilds AC, cleans out the power before it goes through anything in here. And that is like kind of like the secret of getting a decent...
and it works well?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like it's
everything eventually starts through there? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
So you plug it into one outlet or?
Everything is off of one circuit breaker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that is pretty crazy. How much does something like that cost?
I think back in the day that was like $700.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a beast.
But it does what it's supposed to do, and it was the only thing that really helped me at that point in time.
And then you can, because I mean, you've got pot lights here, you've got a lot of things.
Oh, and
it's
dim,
a house.
like anything that dims is just really bad for.
That is really,
circuitry.
really cool. And you don't have any power conditioners anywhere.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
There's another power conditioner there.
Oh, okay.
And over there as well. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start at the top here. I've never seen one of these actually.
It's the Manly Core. I don't know how new it is.
Okay.
But I think it's designed to kind of be like more the Manly consumer. Like this is available.
It's like a single channel?
Yes.
Okay.
It's basically like a Vox box, but with minor limitations. So this is actually really cool. And it got me to think a little bit. It's a valve preamp.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But prior to the preamp is the Manly ELOP or ELOP compressor.
Oh.
So it grabs onto the source before it even goes into the preamp, which is really neat.
And you can turn it off, the compressor.
Yeah, you can bypass it if you want.
Can you turn off the EQ?
The EQ you
I guess just set to zero, right?
No, yeah, you just set it to zero.
Okay.
So you can't really A/B anything. But
that's kind of cool.
It's neat because it's an optical compressor prior to going into the valve preamp, then into the EQ, and then it's got the FET brick wall limiter.
Oh, wow.
Which just like stops everything.
Right.
And without that.
That's pretty intense. So you have 2 shelves here.
Yeah, 2 shelves. It's 4 bands, so it's 2 shelves and then a mid pair. Sorry, 3 band.
Okay, and then you can just select.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's.
What
neat.
do you use it for?
I like to pair this up with so I'll pair these 2 together.
Yeah.
And because this is a solid state.
Right.
And either I'll do valve with a tube mic or this with a transistor mic. It's great on vocals. It's great on horns.
Okay.
It's great on a lot of different sources, but mainly vocals. Like that gives you that gold sound.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
really cool. So we've got a lot of Focusrite stuff here. I really want to talk about. So this is the producer pack.
Yeah, it's the 430.
Okay. So what does that have here? So we've got a pre.
Yeah, you have the pre section here.
These things are laid out so bizarre, right? So confusing.
You have your pre section here. You have to be careful with the EQ because your shelving is actually on this side, and then your parametric is here.
Okay.
So it's not like bass, mids, and highs.
Sure.
You have to kind of...
So you have a filter to start?
Yep. It's a high and low pass filter, which is nice to have.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Then you have your compressor section here. One thing that I love about this, and I really think that a lot of channel strips need to have, is this blend option.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you can blend the compressor in, so you can kind of see a little bit what it's doing.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can listen to the source of the compressor. So you can...
taking a little while to learn, eh?
Yeah, a little bit. It has a expander gate section. Expander's great, like, on vocals and so forth.
Wow.
So
and a de-esser as well.
De-esser is super awesome.
Really?
Okay, so traditional de-essers are compressor type. Okay. Dial in the frequency and then it starts kind of compressing that frequency. This puts it out of phase.
Oh.
Which it's just
interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you just pick the frequency. So would you have to just sweep around until you find it?
Yeah. So you go DS listen, okay?
Oh.
And then based on the frequency that you're at, when you're monitoring, all you hear is that frequency.
Oh, that's so cool. That's a lot
phase.
like a fab filter
and then
has
when
something like that.
Yeah, and then when you turn it off, then it's putting that out of phase, which is nice.
I mean, these are very popular. Very popular. I mean, we've seen something or one of them like it. Yeah. And they're not too expensive. They're not cheap though. But yeah, they call it producer pack, but I've seen a lot of big studios have this. Yeah. So this is the 428, which I believe are just 4 ISA pre's. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the, it does have the high pass filter on each.
And then impedance. Their options, right? Like low, high, and
exactly. Yeah. I typically use the ISA impedance just because that's what they're famous for. Right?
Am I right that this has a digital component to it? Like, can you attach it?
Yeah, it has a converter on it.
Okay.
I don't use it that way though.
Oh, okay.
Because I have everything running through the patch bay.
Do you have to? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Do you have to pay for something extra?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But in theory, I mean, you have 16 channels here?
Yes.
So in theory, you could have 20?
You could do... this is another 8, I believe. I believe it's another 8. Because there's 4 inputs on the back as well.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. But the only thing that... the older versions of the 428 had the view meters.
Oh, okay.
And these are more digital metering on the side here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I love this stuff. Yeah. I really, really love it. It's super clean. It's very powerful.
Transparent.
It's so good.
And it's... You can push it, but... You're not going to get that like crazy distortion. It's more just like that... I mean, they were originally designed by Neve, right? So
I think that, in my opinion, I see a lot of people asking online, like, what's the first pre that I should get?
Yeah.
If their budget is really low. And I think, the little lunchbox ISA that they have, the ISA 1, I think it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can get those used for $300 or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to go. Yeah. Unless you want to go like maybe a 610 or something. But I just think that, and the ISA 2 is I think it's about 700 or 800 used Canadian. So it's like 600 or 700 American. Yeah. And I think it's the best way to go.
And these, I typically like to use these on drums, and it just really bites down on it. It's nice.
And they're so loud too if you want it to. Like, it's so great. Yeah, because they have like 30... like a little boost there too, which is so strange.
It's notched, and then you have your fine trim.
The only thing is, I wonder why they don't have pads. Like you just have to basically.
I know what you're.
Take it all the way down.
Yeah.
Sorry, I changed it on you there.
That's okay. The world's gonna end.
Okay, so this is crazy, man, that you actually got one of these, the Stam bus compressors, because I mean, so many people in the world. This is an incredible piece, and man, I'm jealous. Like, it actually, for the folks who've never got to touch one, it's very, very well made.
Yes.
Like, it's a beautiful gray. These buttons, people hate these buttons, but I love them.
Well, you just got one yourself, right?
I do. I have an Audioscape, not the Stam. The Audioscape, I love the bus compression. I was fortunate enough to use an SSL, a vintage one at one time, and that's when I knew that I had to have one.
Yeah. No, I found this on the All Buttons In group, and when I saw it, I was like, first person. Like, he literally said, I think you were the first person. It was 7 a.m.
Well, you know what? I mean, so Stam, basically, there's people I know a guy who's been waiting about a year for one.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all handmade in Chile, and so there's a huge lineup for them. So for you to just get it at 7 a.m. is
and it's exactly what I needed as well. I needed some sort of bus compressor, and I love the SSL lineup, and if I could afford it, I'd have more.
Sure.
But
do you use it on your bus, or do you use it for drums?
Totally. I've used this. I print with it as well. Yeah. So, but I'll run drums through it. It glues everything together, as you know. Yeah. Like, I don't even think we really need to speak to it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the glues everything together cliche.
Yeah.
It really makes sense when you use this.
Yes.
To me, especially if you keep the makeup down, and it's just like you're running it, and you're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
it's like a girthiness that you can't live without.
And the great thing is, like, with this, there's not a lot of, how do I say this, musical choice.
Right.
It's, I'm gonna set it here. I gotta live with that setting.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like from here to here, you can really hear the transients open up. Yeah. So like it's a huge.
Totally. That's kind of where I keep mine as well. Actually, I opened up the SSL UAD to see like what some of the presets were. To see like what people were doing. It's hard. Like sometimes I go back and forth to like 0.1. And then bring this way back, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're more aggressive with this when it's a faster, or maybe you're less. And then when it's a slower attack, you have to be a little more aggressive. I think that's what it is. I actually always go 4-1 now, just because I think, why not? I paid the money, might as well give her. I love it.
This was set up on a mix bus actually last, so I was just giving it that last little bit of
that's what I've.
And then I pay attention a lot to the needle, because I don't want to go like too crazy, so I just wanted to kind of kiss the needle a little bit. But it really does.
I think everyone should have one.
Yeah.
I think everyone, I mean, I like it too, because when you're doing all this tricks in the box, it's nice to come out. And it's forced me to offline bounce. It's forced me to print every mix that I have, even just rough mixes,
and
to
then
send to my phone.
You gotta be happy with it.
Yeah, totally.
But same with you. I played with a lot of the Universal Audio of the Octo there.
Right.
And it's great, but once you have hands on,
totally. Yeah. So talk to me about your converters here. So we've got the Focusrite.
This is the Claret.
What's the difference between the two of them? They're a little different.
So this is the Slave.
Oh, okay.
So this is just the Octopre, and then this is the actual Claret.
Okay. And that's a new line, right?
Yeah, it's new-ish. I think it's a year or two old now.
Okay, cool.
But it has the circuitry. It's called Air. It mimics that 430. Sorry.
Like the insides of these?
It mimics the 110, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of mimics that preamp that you get on those. They're just clean.
And there's preamps on all the channels?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was looking for, I had specs that I was looking for. I wanted a certain amount in, I wanted a certain amount going out.
Yeah. So you have 16 channels here. What's patched into these here?
Because, as you know, a lot of these preamps have 2 on the front.
Right.
I had to run external out. So everything's going into the patch.
Oh, that's kind of annoying, eh?
Yeah. So the top patch is all my inputs, outputs. And I actually have a little cheat sheet here.
Oh yeah, you know what? I have a cheat sheet on Google Docs that I have to open up every time.
Yeah. And then the bottom one is all the.
How do you even read this? So small.
I know.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. Mine's legible. I did the exact same thing. Look at that, folks at home. We don't have the HD cameras to be able to handle that. That's crazy.
Yeah. A friend, do you know Pat McGordy?
No.
He helped me set this up or design it.
Millions of dollars in cables. Yeah, and everything back there is probably just as tight as...
It was time. So I've been doing this, and I think I was telling you, since grade 9.
Right.
Just collecting stuff. So a lot of the cables had to go anyways. Yeah. And it was just time to do this. And so much more efficient just to have that.
How long? So you've been doing this since grade 9. How did you get into this?
I was in high school in a couple bands. Yeah. And I just always was the guy that took interest into, hey, I know we're rehearsing, but let's just record this jam and then see what happens with it. And, you know, you have people over and then you're just like, let's record this jam. Yeah. And then you start with, start researching, okay, why isn't this sound good? Or what's going on? And then, you know, you're in your bedroom at the time, so you don't really know anything about treatment or anything about gear at that point.
It's such a slow journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. And it is a crazy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you like these, the Focusrite?
Yes, I do.
Do you use the pre's in them?
I run through like other pre's and then I just kind of go direct.
How many you have here? 1, 2, plus 4. You have 6?
6, and then I have another one down here. But then I also do run pre's off of the Focusrite as well.
Okay, cool. Yes. I imagine they're pretty good.
Yeah. They do the trick.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not bad. But
that also gives you 16 outs?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's great. So you have lots of room to add effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is this thing here?
So this is from TC Electronic. It's basically, you know, it's not a Briganti, but it's a basically reverb.
Reverb. Okay, cool.
Effects, anything that you really want it to do.
And you have it patched into here?
Like this.
Do you use it in Pro Tools?
This is Spitif. So,
okay. Oh, nice.
I have an I/O channel, and then.
Oh, great. So you don't even have to use up inputs for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lucky. Yeah. That's great.
Everything kind of has like an I/O channel, and then run it like a plugin.
That is really cool. Okay, so Stefan, I want to talk about your guitars, which you don't do very often. I'm not hugely passionate about guitars. For me,
which is weird as a guitar player.
I know. It's just like the way I treat guitars is like the opposite of how I treat gear. For me, it's just like whatever makes a sound, you know what I mean? Then I can use that. Yeah. But let's go through your guitars here because I know. Well, sorry, our cameraman's a luthier, so he's going to shut the camera off.
A little excited.
But it's the truth, man. Sorry, what can I say? So, you said to me off camera, you won this guitar?
I won that guitar at Long & McQuaid.
I hate when people win stuff. When people win stuff, it makes... You didn't tune it for us before we came over?
Oh.
Shut it down.
Did you actually shut it down?
No. We're going home.
I won that.
I want to win something.
Yeah. It was a contest. I think my first bass ever was a Washburn bass, and then they had like a little ballot that you fill in. Anything you win Washburn to win acoustic. And I was, of course, why not, right?
Wow.
2 weeks later, got it.
You must have been pretty stoked about that.
Yeah,
it's not like a cheap guitar.
I think I was 12 or 13 at the time, and I was just kind of getting into everything.
Good
and
for you.
It was like, it was that boost. It was
Yeah. I've got I don't know if you've ever seen this, Jay, my Seagull S6. Have you ever seen this guitar? It's got a huge hole in the back. And I got that when I was 12 or 13. And we actually used it on a couple records this year. We always use it.
I've seen many campfires, believe me.
Yes, that's right. The Seagull is the campfire guitar, that's for sure. Epiphone here. You're saying something interesting about this.
Yeah, so this is from...
Oh!
Yeah,
Oh!
it's maple. That's maple.
Oh my God, that's not fun.
Yeah, that's a back killer. Epiphone, I believe to date it back to 1978. It was when Epiphone was being made in Japan, and they started making these SC series. And there's not too many of them out and about, but it's nice because it's got the 24 fret neck.
Yeah,
and,
I noticed that.
You can kind of rock out on it, and it kind of plays a bit like a Les Paul.
But you need a chair.
Yeah, you definitely need a chair. It's a back killer.
What's the deal with this Telecaster? This is beautiful.
This
is the one that
pride and joy.
Is it?
It's the,
I shouldn't touch it. Usually, did you know that on every studio tour, somebody gives us a guitar at the end of the tour? Did you know that?
Okay.
Every studio.
I have one.
Not the Washburn one. Whoa! Now this is light.
Yes. So this is the thin line. So it's actually semi-hollow. This is the Select series. So this has the.
It feels like butter.
Bird's eye maple.
So smooth.
And then the quilted maple top, and
so great, man.
I think it's an alder body.
What do you think of this, Jay?
It's nice.
It's beauty. I like it. I like that. I love a Telecaster.
Mm-hmm. It just sounds nice, and it's very versatile as well.
What electric do you use the most on your? We've got another one over here, but what electric do you use the most on recording?
Probably this and the Gretsch.
Right, they're completely different, eh?
Yeah.
What's the deal with the Gretsch?
1962 original Chet Atkins. You can even zoom in on the frets, and they need to be reworked.
Is guitars like your thing?
It's still
that's where you like to.
I'm actually a bass player. I also I went to Humber for trombone.
Oh, okay.
But like my uncle was a guitarist, and then like I like Yeah. So I built my collection up, and part of the studio vibe is like anybody that comes over, like, you know, this isn't quite working. Here, grab something off the wall.
I like that.
And then try it.
Yeah.
And like the Gretsch has saved many recordings many times. Just getting that twang. And, and it's nice.
Okay, take us through the basses then. I really don't know. I'm totally coming out of my comfort zone here.
So we got a GNL bass. Nothing crazy special about it, but a little bit of backstory. Leo Fender, I think he went Fender to Music Man, then to GNL.
Oh, okay.
So it's the 2500 5-string, which is nice. It's
I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
Active. And then the Furlanetto.
Yeah, is this local? Jay was telling me about this.
These are made in Hamilton.
Wow.
Just
that's beautiful.
Beautiful. It's kind of like it plays a lot like a jazz bass.
Okay.
With, 17 extra buttons on it.
Is that your go-to?
That's my go-to. Yeah. I play in a salsa band, and it just kind of really, it sounds nice.
Yeah. And this one here at the end.
This is my rock bass.
I actually think my buddy had one of these in black.
This is actually really unique. This is the private dealer network. They made 50 of these in circulation. I got this from LA Music. I saw it. I loved it. I bought it. It plays nice.
Fretboard's really nice.
It plays nice. It's like, well, there's 50 of them, so it kind of has that
that's cool.
speak to factor.
Yeah. What do you like, Jay? What's your favorite?
Probably the F. The F
bass.
Yeah.
That's great. So you started playing the trombone?
I
played the trombone in grade 9.
Oh, no way.
I switched to the upright bass, but it was fun.
Yeah, no, I went to the Humber jazz program, so
that
great. Is one of 3 of my trombones that I have.
You said so. I've seen from the pictures and some of the instruments here, and we'll switch over to the percussion in a sec. But like, what's the Latin influence with you?
I
can tell that you're Latino,
I just kind of got started playing with a group, and then that kind of led to playing with another group. But you
is
know
it
how
like
works,
it's a type of music that you?
I love salsa. I mean,
How did you get exposed to that? That's not something you hear all the time from like a guy from Canada.
To be honest, I had an ex-girlfriend that was Colombian and introduced me to a lot of musicians that were also Colombian. And then I started introduced me to some Venezuelans, and then everyone's kind of
that's cool
into that type.
I gotta think there's good money in that type of music, parties and whatnot.
It's fun, and they know how to throw parties. Let's just put it that way. yeah.
That's great. So you play bass in those bands?
Play bass in those bands.
And is that where you get a lot of clients from, that type of music?
Yeah. So that's why I have the congas and the timbales and the bells and so forth, because you want to make things accessible to people when they come here.
You said that at one point you had a horn section in here recording?
Yeah.
Is this like the ideal studio for a big band like that?
Well, no, but you got to make things work. I actually had a lineup of horn players down the side here. Do you have earplugs? And
gosh, that's loud.
Well, it wasn't that. Well, I don't know. I guess it was loud. Yeah.
Well, let's. I want to check out these drums before we.
Yeah,
leave.
sure.
So we got some congas here. You know what's funny? Yeah. I actually rented some congas. Am I saying that right? Congas.
Yep. Congas. Okay. Well, this is a conga. This is a tumba. And then the third conga is the quinto.
They look the exact same.
This is 11 3/4 and 12 3/4.
Okay. Okay. So there's so much I want to talk about. We're going to talk about the drums, but I don't think we've ever done a segment on congas. But I love them, and a lot of indie rock bands are using them now too. Mm-hmm. It's not just like restricted to certain genres. But I rented some recently for a record I was working on. I had no business renting them, but I rented a really cheap pair, like a $400 or $500 pair.
Yeah.
And they recorded beautifully. I had some like ribbons up top, and then I actually had, which was a suggestion of a buddy of mine who knows nothing, but suggested a 57 pointed straight up the bum.
And how'd that turn out?
It was beautiful. So good. Yeah, it was beautiful.
We got our first blooper.
I got to apologize to our friends or our children viewers at home. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, we had 257s down at the bottom and pointed straight up, and it sounded really good.
Okay.
That's where all the boom came from.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but it sounded great.
The only thing that I'd be worried about is the amount of air displacement that's coming out of the bottom.
Not much. And I mean, it's a 57, so it's kind of used to getting that kind of, it's not like I was going to damage anything.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Now, I was playing them like pretty gently, so maybe someone who is really giving her, it wouldn't be wise, but it sounded cool.
Yeah.
What do you do for recording?
With these, I typically do small diaphragm close, and then I'll do large diaphragm.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Room mic.
And how do you pan those two mics?
Depending on the song, you can get away with doing hard left, right?
Right.
But you could also do like 60-60 as well, depending on the actual song.
They're such a beautiful instrument.
Yeah.
And I love that, bands like Arcade Fire took them on tour and their music, but like I love that they're just being used on anything.
Yeah. And they offer a different type of tonality.
Totally.
That like all drums have a certain type of tonality, but it offers like another type of tonality that, when you listen to it, it kind of brings a little bit more excitement into the music.
And it's like, to me, it's like they mix themselves too, because the tone is so beautiful. I haven't mixed what I recorded, but I'm nervous because I don't want to pull any of the low end out. At the same time, I don't want to like rattle a car or anything or any earbuds. But
yeah, you typically I take a bit of the low end out.
Like a filter?
Yeah.
Do you take it out right away or afterwards?
I use a high pass filter on them.
Okay.
Because I just want that. Doom, doom, doom,
right.
Doom, right.
But I mean, if you get a nice hit, it's like, yeah. No, that's probably smart. They're so nice,
they're great. These are the 30th anniversaries from Mindel.
Are these expensive?
I can't remember offhand.
Okay.
No.
I know that the pair I rented was a pair that they would send home with an idiot like me, and they were only about $400 or $500 for the pair. So,
yeah.
But these probably worth a lot more.
No, they're like a professional line.
Yeah. So we got before we talk about the drum kit, which is beautiful, and the snare, which is beautifuller. We're talking about Latin music. What are these?
Timbales.
Okay.
So we have.
Can I hit them with a stick, or how do you hit these?
Yeah, they actually have a timbale stick.
Oh.
Which
Go
is
ahead, show me.
Interesting. You might have seen these before.
This is going to up our ratings. You play them. I want to hear it.
Oh, well.
Oh, nice. That's crazy. Oh. Which way do you go?
So you'd hold it typically like that.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm on a cruise ship.
So, it's nice. And obviously it's
not that loud. I thought it'd be really loud.
Yeah. Well,
it's like nice.
When full band, you don't even really need to mic them. A salsa, like a little salsa band down here, you don't really need to mic them.
And what are you doing for miking those? Are you recording those?
Those I'll typically do dynamics on just because they're a lot louder than, for example, the congas.
Yes, right.
And the SPL level will kill condenser.
Yeah. So the U drum is a local guy. Talk to me about this kit and how you got it.
Okay. Paul Dickinson, he's the man. He's been in business since '94 out of Burlington. Originally had a shop in Waterdown.
Okay.
He told me, well, I've had him over last week. He told me that this was about one of 5 kits that he's made. This is a mahogany and poplar shells with maple reinforced rims. And we got
snare is gorgeous.
I believe it's a 12-inch and a 16-inch and then a 22-inch kick. The snare, believe it or not,
that's great,
is not actually part of this kit.
Okay.
That is a maple snare, but it was orphaned from a kit that was made for the drummer of the Beach Boys.
No way.
Yeah.
How did you get it?
It was orphaned, and it kind of. I got this off of a guy on Kijiji who
the
was
whole
selling.
kit?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And he didn't even know what he had here, and then came across, and I'm like, yeah, that's mine.
And you were able to research the snare?
Paul told me, because when he all he had to do is look at them and let me know.
Oh man. How deep is that?
I think it's 8.5.
Man, I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of body. Paul just put on a 42 band snare on the bottom, which just
that's
grabs.
Crazy. What's this kit here you have?
Sorry?
This drum miking.
These are the 604s. They're from Sennheiser.
Okay.
They're nice in the fact that they're just like your standard dynamic, kind of like a 57.
Yeah.
But the convenience factor of just clipping them on, and they're more designed for live. I understand that.
Sure.
But they work well in a studio.
Yeah. I mean, they can't be any worse than a 57, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What's this here?
It's an Audio-Technica Type 57 as well.
Oh, okay. I'm always interested. A lot of people have different options for snares. Not everyone does a 57, which kind of surprised me. But everyone has something different. I should take notes of all the things that people have said. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different options. Well, this is a beautiful kit. Beautiful kit.
Thank you very much. It sounds amazing as well. Just had a session a couple weeks ago, and it was like that 6/8 kind of rock groove.
Yeah.
And it just like dominated. And the snare like just fills the room, and it records exceptionally well.
Well, there's so many cool toys in here, and there's so many good quality instruments. I think a band would just come in here and probably leave their stuff in the car. Hey? I think it's great. Well, this is really cool.
That's the vibe. Come and sit down and play, plug in and play environment. That's what I was achieving.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's great. Well, and that's nice, too. You're already set up. You got the overheads. All the drum mics are good to go. And so it'd be a pretty great room to do like a demo as soon as you get in here.
Start
tracking.
You don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
That's the big
sure.
thing. But you still have a relaxed environment.
Yeah.
Right? So
what kind of projects are you working on right now?
Currently working on a project with Lizzie Clark. She's a vocalist from Humber College.
Okay.
She came in December. I'm also working on another project. His name's Edgar. He is a solo instrumentalist, but he plays everything himself.
Okay.
So
nice.
when he performs, he uses a loop station, several loop stations.
Yeah.
And they're all synced up.
Yeah.
But in the studio, we're doing that, and then I have the cameras set up, and then we'll record him doing his
great.
Performance.
Yeah,
which is
that's cool.
fun. So the ability to kind of morph into whatever project it is, and this space is really it's kind of like Legos.
Yeah.
You kind of take it apart, put it together.
Well, there's some stuff you don't want to take apart too much, but no, that is good. That's good to be able to do that.
Set it up with whoever's setup is coming in.
I think you've made really good use of the space too.
Thanks. Yeah.
I mean, you have so much open space here, but like.
And that was kind of
it's really
one of
well
the
done.
challenges that I knew until I get to that point where I have a larger studio. You have to make use of every square inch
and do a really good job at it, and then you earn yourself a bigger space.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, would it really piss you off if we showed this back door here? Because this is actually one of the genius things I want to show when we go to home studios. But this is like your kind of traditional barn door, right? That they would sell for closets or master bedrooms or whatever.
Yep.
But what I like about this is like how much space is wasted in a studio but when the door's open.
Yeah.
I think back to like the different spaces that I've had.
Had to get creative.
Yeah.
Had to get kind of figure out what wood would work best.
But that's
it's
genius.
heavy door.
And it tucks right behind
the desk.
The desk.
Yeah.
That is, I think that's so genius. I think a lot of people will steal that idea. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out. This is awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Jay.